So, let me tell you about Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. You mentioned it in one of your write-ups for Kaye.
Well, no, I mean, I'm a Resident Evil fan. Video game first, obviously, but so
I'm not a huge gamer. I'm aware of Resident Evil. I know that hardcore Resident Evil fans are not necessarily fans of the existent Resident Evil cinematic catalog.
Yeah.
But I like it because I watched Milla Jovovich do anything. I liked Ultraviolet, so that's all you need to know about my fandom for Milla Jovovich.
Yeah. But that's a little further than I'm willing to go.
But so this Resident Evil, not that Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I don't want to screw up anybody's name. It's the story of Claire and her brother Chris Redfield.
Yeah.
Played by Kaye Scodelario and Robbie Amell. Robbie Amell from the CW shows, and a movie he made with his cousin Steven, or brother, one of the two. Code 8, which is actually a really, if you haven't seen that sci-fi film, that's actually pretty good too. And Hannah John-Kamen. So yes, it's the origins of theoretically the video game, and what I understand is that it is a more faithful adaptation of the early video games.
That is what it was, how it has been presented.
Right. So, having not played those video games, let me just say that I don't know if it was my theater or if they soft focused everything, but the level of detail in this film is terrible. No, I mean, like they're showing text on, well, because this is set in 1998, right? So there's a beeper, a pager, and a Palm Pilot. It literally is a Palm Pilot, if you remember those. And then we're looking at text on that screen, and you can barely read, or I could barely read it. So either my eyes are that horrible, or my theater's that terrible, or they just filmed it horrible to make it look older. I don't know. There's a lot of flashing lights. I remember a lot of the people. It was all about the flashes of the strobes of light. So it would be dark, instant of strobe where you'd see the things coming at you, and there's a lot of that in this film. But then it's got a lot of these periods of pointless first-person shooter that only lasts like 2 or 3 seconds, and then it comes back out to third person. And it just, man, it's just not that good, really. I mean, I almost wish, or I think for a better experience, you would want to go on YouTube and watch like someone do a playthrough video of the video game, and it might be more entertaining than this film. But the absolute worst part of seeing this film today, and I went to the theater to see it. Thankfully, I didn't have to pay for my ticket, but I did see it in the theater. The worst part is that not only did I have to sit through that Mobius trailer again, as soon as the Mobius trailer came on, I knew I was screwed, and the Spider-Man trailer came on after it. So I lost my streak of having not seen the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. So that was like insult to injury, going to see the new Resident Evil. And I also busted not seeing the stupid Spider-Man trailer. So now I'm pissed that I've seen the Spider-Man trailer before I've seen the film, because I was doing really good. But no, the film, it's very slow, punctuated by brief periods of really weird cinematography. And then we're back into really slow garbage again. It's just not that well constructed. At least they tried to amp up the story for the Jovovich versions. They tried to give you a more overarching action-oriented story.
Sure.
But whether you liked it or not, at least they tried. This is, I don't know if it's like a beat for beat, more of a moody video. I don't know if the video game was more about mood than action, but the movie really feels that way.
Sure, atmosphere. But I mean, it was effective in the sense that it took everything that was good about zombie movies,
right,
and put you in the middle of it. The sound mix on it was particularly strong in the video games, and the atmosphere of it.
Right.
They were genuinely creepy games. Like and you play it in the dark all by yourself, and
right.
Get a little freaked out a little. I mean, they were immersive in that sense.
Right. And I think they tried to do that with the film, but again, it's not interesting enough as a film because you're not doing anything but waiting. Whereas in a game, you're wandering around with a flashlight,
or
whatever, and so I don't know that translated as well.
Yeah, I mean, you should be able to make it work, though. I mean,
you should be able to, but I don't think they really did.
Yeah, so, well, that could be. There's some interesting stuff in there.
I said I remember I had gamer friends back in the day, and they raved about it. And I was like, I get it. If you're a horror fan, it sets the mood. The video game sets the mood, but you are, for a video game, you are in it.
Yeah,
and that's half the fun. In the movie, you're watching these people in it, and like I said, so I don't know if that's somehow where the disconnect is.
Well, I mean, somehow you have to. I mean,
but like I said, but then it breaks into those weird little short snippets of first person.
Yeah.
But they're kind of pointless. So it's like, and
I feel like I have to see it.
If you do, you can come back and tell me that I'm right or wrong, because then you'll have both to compare. But no, for me it was like it just didn't really work for me as a film. Said it might be a faithful adaptation of what you saw playing the game, and that's a separate argument. That is a completely separate argument. But as a film, I don't think it really worked that well.
Okay, but and ultimately, I don't think you want something that replicates the game. I think you want something that captures the spirit of the game in an entertaining film.
Exactly. But go ahead and see it. Let me know. We'll see. Because you have a better basis.
Well, but it may be a long time before I get to see it.
That is also true.
You look at like all the stuff that it's like, if I could have watched it, here was a window. Okay, that window's gone.
Exactly. So they said I had to steal 3 hours today over this whole weekend, and then I had to slide Tick Tick Boom, which we just talked about.
Yeah.
I had to slide that in today before we started recording. And this morning I watched another film that I'd been sitting on that is now out that I need to do something with, but I was like, I need to talk about that. So yeah, it's crazy trying to fit all this stuff in. So it's hard right now. It is really hard right. When you get around to watching it, let me know what you think. So, all right, that's it. That's it for Resident Evil. I don't think it worked. We'll see what you think. So cool. Okay.